They say silence has weight, but no one tells you it can suffocate you in your own home. When my sister looked me dead in the eye that night, champagne in hand, and said, "If you don't like living with us, you can leave," I felt every brick of the place I'd built crumble inside me. The laughter that followed wasn't family laughter, it was victory. Like she'd finally managed to take something from me she could never earn on her own. The thing is, this was my house. A 2-story apartment in downtown Manhattan. My sanctuary. My proof that hard work actually paid off in a city that eats people alive. And that night, as strangers spilled drinks on my oak floors, I didn't scream or argue. I just smiled. Because somewhere beneath the noise and betrayal, I knew something they didn't. They'd already given me everything I needed. Proof. ////. Just 2 weeks earlier, I'd finished furnishing the place. 3 bedrooms, wide glass panels framing the skyline like a moving painting, and light oak floors that caught the afternoon sun like honey. For the first time in years, every single corner of my life felt mine. No roommates. No compromises. No one telling me I was too much or too serious. I was finally free. And then, my phone rang. Lila. Her name flashing on my screen made something tighten in my chest. I answered anyway. Her voice was sweet, too sweet. "Hey, Mel," she said, dragging out the syllables like she was petting a cat she planned to drop later. "The contractor says our house won't be ready for another month." Just a month. You've got that big apartment all to yourself, right? Could the kids and I crash for a bit? I hesitated. She must have felt it, because she added softly, "Please, Amelia. It's just temporary." I should have known better. Lila's temporary has never meant what it means to normal people. Growing up, she was the golden one, the one mom and dad bailed out every single time she burned her life down. Unpaid bills, failed jobs, broken leases. Meanwhile, I was the one patching things up behind her. The last time I lent her money, she called it retail therapy, and came home with designer handbags. Still, guilt is a powerful leash. So I said yes. And that single word started the slowest, quietest robbery of my life. ////. 2 days later, I watched a U-Haul reverse into my driveway from the 18th floor window. My heart sank. The truck door rolled up to reveal mountains of boxes. Toys, bins, clothes, furniture, even a treadmill. Lila hopped out in designer sunglasses like she was arriving at a resort. "Surprise," she chirped when I opened the door. "It's not as much as it looks." It was more. Within hours, my minimalist apartment looked like a storage unit exploded. My cream sofa vanished under stuffed animals. My office filled with shoes and Amazon boxes. "We'll take the guest room," she said, glancing around. "The kids can have yours. You can use your studio for now, right?" I stood frozen, mouth halfway open, my words collapsing before they could form. Then I nodded, because fighting Lila was like yelling at the wind. It just passed right through her. ////. The first week felt like living inside a blender. Toys scattered across the hallway. Crumbs embedded into the rug I spent months saving for. Crayon streaks on my design drafts. Every morning started with cartoons at full volume, every night ended with dishes stacked like architectural failures. Lila worked part-time, which meant brunches and gossip. Ethan, her husband, took his business calls in my office chair wearing nothing but sweatpants, barking at someone about deadlines while sipping my imported coffee. At night, I'd sit in my studio on a fold-out cot, staring at the shadows on the ceiling that used to feel peaceful. Now they looked like bars. My home had become a waiting room I was paying for. /////. One evening I came home from a client meeting to find peanut butter smeared on my marble counter. Lila was painting her nails, scrolling through her phone like nothing existed outside the screen. "The kids got hungry," she said, not looking up. I cleaned in silence. Each wipe felt heavier than the last. Later, Mom called. "Sabrina says you've been distant lately," she said. She always called Lila by her middle name, as if it softened the edges. "You can't make your sister feel unwelcome, honey. She has enough stress." I almost laughed. Instead, I said, "Sure, Mom. I'll try harder." That night, I stared at the ceiling, tracing every faint crack. When we were little, I used to count seconds during our fights, waiting for her to apologize. She never did. Some part of me knew this time wouldn't be any different. Lila never leaves, until someone makes her. And this time, that someone had to be me. ////. It started small. A puddle of orange juice in the kitchen. Barefoot kids screaming, knocking over chairs. My once quiet penthouse now sounded like a daycare with no supervision. "Where's your mom?" I asked. "She went out," the older one mumbled, eyes on his tablet. "Out? It's 8 a.m. She said you'd make breakfast." I stood there in disbelief, in my kitchen, realizing I'd somehow become the unpaid nanny. By noon, Lila strolled in wearing sunglasses and carrying a shopping bag. "You're welcome," she said, setting a pastry box down. "For what?" "For breakfast. You didn't have to cook." That was her gift, turning your anger into her generosity. "Lila, you can't just..." "Oh, come on," she interrupted. "You're always working. The kids need attention too. They're your kids." God, Amelia. You've always been so uptight. Relax. It's family. That word, family, started to taste bitter. ////. Within weeks, my home was unrecognizable. My clean white shelves bowed under cheap trinkets. My design books vanished under piles of coloring pages. Even the air felt different, heavier. Then came the bills. Electricity tripled. Water doubled. My cleaning supplies evaporated overnight. When I brought it up, she shrugged. "For people use more water than one. Obviously. You're lucky we don't charge you for company." Lucky. Ethan wasn't any better. He turned my office into his gaming cave. Snacks, wires, soda cans. One afternoon, I found my laptop dead, thousands of dollars of client data gone. He'd spilled soda on it. "Relax," he said. "It's just stuff." That night, I called Tyler, my business partner, my sanity anchor. "They're turning my home into a landfill," I said, pacing. "Then stop letting them," he said. "It's not that easy. They're family. Mom already thinks I'm selfish." He sighed. "Amelia, you design spaces so people can breathe. Don't forget you deserve to breathe in yours." His words stuck. Like light behind a curtain, waiting. ////. The parties came next. Just coffee, Lila said one afternoon. I came home to 8 people in my living room, watching TV and drinking beer. Lila. Relax, she laughed. It's family. That night I picked up beer bottles until midnight. Each clink against the bin felt like applause for my stupidity. The next morning, Mom showed up, casserole in hand, lecture in her eyes. You're being too harsh, she said. Your sister just wants her kids to feel normal. Normal? I asked. They've broken my things, ruined my work, eaten through a week of groceries. It's just stuff, Amelia. Don't be materialistic. Materialistic. I built this life from nothing, brick by brick, breath by breath, and they called it materialism. That night, I sat by the window watching the city lights. My reflection looked tired. Angry. Small. I realized I hadn't built this home to show off. I'd built it to feel safe. And now, it wasn't. /////. The breaking point came wrapped in gold balloons. Don't be mad, Lila said one morning, grinning. We're throwing Ethan's birthday here. Just family. I should have said no. Instead, I said, do what you want. Because she always did. That night, I came home to a war zone. Music shaking the walls. Strangers on my balcony. Beer and perfume filling the air. Ethan's birthday, spelled across my glass wall in crooked gold letters. I froze in the doorway. My minimalist sanctuary looked like a frat house. Lila spotted me. You made it, she shouted, waving her champagne. Grab a drink. I didn't. Sabrina. Lila, she corrected, laughing. It's just one night. One night? I looked around. You've been living one long night for months. I turned off the music. Silence crashed through the room. This isn't your house, I said quietly. Her smile sharpened. If you don't like living with us, you can leave. Laughter rippled through the crowd. And that was it. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I walked to my purse, grabbed my keys, and left. No door slam. No words. Just the sound of my heels echoing down the hallway. ////. The hotel clerk barely looked up. Rough night, he asked. You have no idea. In the silence of that small room, I realized something had broken, not in me, but off me. The guilt. The obligation. The leash. The next morning, I drove back. My hands didn't shake. When I opened the door, the smell hit me first. Beer. Sweat. Something burnt. The living room looked like a battlefield. Wine puddled on the rug. Toys floated in it like wreckage. I didn't cry. I turned on soft jazz, the kind I used to work to, and rolled up my sleeves. Each dish I stacked, each can I tossed, each box I packed felt deliberate. Controlled. By noon, 4 suitcases and 3 boxes sat by the door. I looked at them, at the emptiness, and whispered, you said if I don't like it, I can leave. I did. Now it's your turn. /////. The keys turned in the lock. Lila stepped in first, sunglasses on. Ethan followed, kids behind. What are you doing? She asked. Packing. You can't kick us out. You told me to leave my own home. Remember? She froze. I was joking. No, I said. You were testing how far you could go. Congratulations. You found the line. Her face went red. You think you're better than everyone because you have a nice place and a business. I smiled slightly. You think I'm better than you. That's the problem. My phone buzzed. A message from the building manager. Noise complaint investigation complete, violation confirmed. Attached, their names on the fine. Oh, and this, I said, scrolling. Mrs. Langford next door sent me the footage from last night. The mess. The noise. The words you said. Her jaw dropped. Don't worry. I already sent it to Mom and Dad. Along with the bills for the last 3 months. You're sick, she whispered. No, I said. I'm done. Ethan stepped forward, defeated. Where are we supposed to go? I handed him a folder. I found you a rental. 2 bedrooms near the kids' school. First month's on me. After that, you're on your own. They stared at me, humiliated, furious, silent. That night, Mom called. You can't just throw your sister out like that, she shouted. I muted the phone and turned up the jazz. .. For days, the silence was beautiful. I could hear the city again. The hum of traffic. The distant siren song of life outside my walls. My home was finally breathing again, and so was I. When Tyler dropped by with takeout, he looked around. Looks different, he said. It finally looks like me again. He smiled. You look different too. Maybe peace has good lighting. .. 2 days later, they were gone. No note. No goodbye, just an open window letting in the scent of rain. I sat on the couch and breathed. For the first time in months, quiet didn't feel lonely. It felt earned. Weeks passed. Mom didn't call. Dad sent one text, you could have handled it better. I didn't reply. Time did. It always does. A month later, I opened an email from my landlord. All outstanding bills have been paid. No signature, just a receipt. Maybe guilt. Maybe pride. Didn't matter. .. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, I stood by the window with a glass of wine. My reflection stared back, older, steadier. The woman who once apologized for taking up space was gone. I whispered to her, you did it. You took it back. A week later, Mom showed up with a pie. She looked tired. Older. We were wrong, she said quietly. Lila's with us now. It's chaos. I'm sorry we didn't listen. I nodded. You raised me to take care of family. You forgot to teach her the same. We sat for a while, eating pie in silence. When she left, she hugged me longer than she ever had before. That night, I opened the balcony doors. The city hummed, taxis, wind, life. The air smelled like freedom. Sometimes peace doesn't arrive with applause. It arrives in the sound of your own breathing, steady and unshaken, in a home that finally feels like yours again. .. // Thank you for listening to my story. It means the world to share it with you. If it moved you, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. It helps me keep telling stories like this one. Stay strong and I'll see you in the next one.